Welcome one and all in one to the very first Cult of Kings replay. I'm Human, the man who has been chosen to be trusted with the important task of casting all of our replays. I'm going to do the first cast as a 3v3 between myself as the Red Terran, Red Protoss I should say, Haros as the Teal Zerg, and ZZ Sheeps as the Blue Protoss, and we're up against Kyle, the Orange Terran, Maya, the Purple Protoss, and Bernardo, the Yellow Terran. While the game gets underway, I'm going to do all the shoutouts I should do to people. First one is to HD Starcraft and Husky Starcraft for setting up StarcraftArena.net, which allowed everyone in the Cult of Kings clan to meet and join up together. And as time goes on, I'm sure we'll get even more awesome as more people become aware of us and join in. Second thank you will have to go to Haros. He's the person who organised all this, and for all intents and purposes is our fearless leader. So there's no one else on my list, so I mean obviously a big thanks to everyone who has joined and has been involved in the setting up process. The person who organised the forums, I forget who that was, I'm terribly sorry, but you know who you are and you're awesome. And yeah, to everyone who's joined, good work. Get involved, sign up to the forums, etc, etc, etc. And for everyone who isn't on StarCraft Arena but is watching this replay, go to the website. StarcraftArena.net is the website. Join up, and yeah, there's all sorts of awesome stuff there that you can get involved with. And again, I have to say a big thank you to both HD and Husky for really wanting to get behind the community. They really do a great job, and I think it's fantastic that they are so committed to trying to grow an international community, not just one in the US. So good work, guys. Keep up the great work. Now, a bit of information on the players. All of us except for Haros and Kyle are all in Silver League of some sort, with Bronze as all of our other leagues. Kyle is currently Gold in this level of play, and Haros is Bronze in all levels of play. So not much of an advantage. Kyle should be at some form of advantage, but we'll see how that goes as the game goes on. So let's have a look at the income tab at the moment. All players sitting at about even, except for Kyle, who's a bit behind at the moment. Bernardo and Haros are both sort of constantly ahead, whereas sort of the three Protoss players are sort of going up and down. And I'm guessing that's because of the mule, and purely and simply because there are so many drones here, and Haros is oversaturating to get his expansion. Because Zerg do like to fast expand, I decided it was the best idea to allow him to have both of these expansions, and then we can just take one of these other expansions when we're ready. Make it a lot easier, as we kind of just had this unspoken agreement that Haros would sort of be providing the end game while we provided the early game pressure. Now my strategy for this game was to go 4-gate into Dark Templar. That was just the theme I decided for the day. I wanted to try out Dark Templar and see how they went. I had played a few other games before this, I think 2 where I tried Dark Templar. One of them worked, and the other one we got stomped. So yeah, I'm sitting at technically 1-1 with this idea of trying out Dark Templar in a multiplayer situation. And obviously, come the end of the game, we'll know how that went, how that turned out. So I've got a wall off with enough gap here to fit through for, I think, Stalkers can get through. So I'm fairly sure that any unit which isn't an Immortal will be able to get out of here. But because it wasn't my intention to go robotics, I didn't really phase me walling off as much as I had. I don't know what I'm doing. Why do I have one untrans? Why am I not making any dudes? Should really be trying to make more zealots while I do have these spare minerals. But I'm not terribly good at this game, as you might have noticed. We do have the Graviton Catapult for carriers being researched by Maya, so very fast carriers coming for him. He does have quite a few minerals researched banked up though. Wouldn't mind seeing a second gateway and possibly some units being pumped out of there just to sort of bolster their defenses, because at this stage, let's take a look at the units tab. 5 Marines for Kyle, 8 Marines and a Marauder for Bernardo, and just a Void Ray for Maya against, well, we've got collectively 12 Zealots, 2 Stalkers, a Sentry, and 18 Zerglings. So, I don't know how all that would go in a fight. I guess with our lack of anti-air, I guess the Void Ray, if he was able to get into a good enough position, would be able to start harassing. But it does appear that he was going to be simply taking, it's mostly going to be used to take out the rocks for expansion. Now, at this stage, I did believe that an expansion wasn't a good idea, because I did realise that we were sort of ahead, and I realised that if we were to get attacked, I could simply just pull back. And because I was going for Dark Templar, I thought the high yield would be best. Not sure if I noticed. I think it was about here, at this very point, that I noticed that on this map, Arakan Citadel, the high yield expansions don't actually have any gas attached. There's no gas nearby. And I realized that would be a problem when I'm trying to build something which costs as much gas as it does minerals. But I thought, well, if I can get ahead in minerals, I can just expand again. Because this isn't really, with the build I was going, this expansion, I just realized wasn't that important to me. Could have cancelled and then moved it over to here, but I thought, well, I've already got the pylon here. It'll be a good staging ground for me. And ZZ Sheep is now suggesting that he's ready to move out. And I did have 5 Dark Templar. Yeah, there we go. 5 Dark Templar with another one on the way. I think I do squeak out another one before we actually move, because I was concentrating on getting Dark Templar out. No, I just move out with 6. Now, let's have a look and see what they've got. So, obviously, Orbital Command. No starport yet for either player, I don't think. No, just 3 racks for Kyle, and yeah, no